Welcome to another Q&A Saturday episode of the Feel Good English podcast. This is your host and teacher, Kevin, coming to you from lovely Denver, Colorado in the Rocky Mountains. It's beautiful here. Q&A Saturdays, I answer your questions coming from all over the world about English or life, giving you my opinion on how to best learn English, how to become a confident English speaker. Go to feelgoodenglish.com and you can send me an email. You can also record your voice and send me a message. That'll be cool. And if you'd like, I'll play it on Q&A Saturdays and answer your question. So those people around the world that might have the same question as you can also get the answer to them. Cool? Today's question comes from Will. Will is Brazilian and he asks, Kevin, what kind of podcast do you think is better for listening? Short ones with 1 minute up to 2 minutes, like newsandlevels.com, or podcasts with 10 or more minutes? Great question, Will. So News and Levels was an example he gave. That is a great website with short news articles for English learners based on all types of news. They have the audio, the transcript, they're short, and they even have different levels. So 1, 2, and 3, depending on the vocab and the speed of the speaker speaking, the speed of the speaker speaking, the speed of the speaker speaking. And Will's question is, what do I think is better, short podcasts or longer ones that are 10 minutes or more, like mine? Well, my answer is neither. And both. Okay, stupid answer, Kevin. That's what you're thinking. But let me explain. There are benefits to both. I really believe in the power of repetition. When I was learning Portuguese, I used to repeat the podcasts that I listened to, maybe 2, 3, 4 times, because I really think that helps the brain learn new vocabulary, memorize new vocabulary,
and get used to the sounds
of the language. So repetition is huge. If you're listening to a shorter podcast, like 1 or 2 minutes, it's going to be easier to repeat, right? Because it's quick. As opposed to a 10-minute or 20-minute episode, it takes longer to repeat. So with repetition, it might be easier for shorter episodes. Also, if you don't have a lot of patience for listening to things in general, you have ADD or just a very anxious person, short episodes might be easier for you to listen to because you get bored quickly. So that can also be a benefit of short podcast episodes like newsandlevels.com. However, even more important than the length of the podcast, in my opinion, is the content. What are you listening to? Do you like it? Is it interesting? Is it motivating? Is it inspiring? Does it teach you something new other than just some new English vocabulary? Can it improve your life? Can it make you smarter? These things are more important than the length of a podcast. When I was learning Portuguese, I always listened to a podcast called Café Brazil. This is an awesome podcast on politics and culture. Great Brazilian music. He goes deep into very original and underground and cool Brazilian music, which I loved. And it was 20 minutes. This is around 20 to 25 minutes. Now, the level was pretty advanced. However, I really enjoyed the content. It was exciting. So what would I do? I would go running in the evenings for exercise, and I would listen to it twice. So that would be 40 minutes. 2 times 20 minutes, 40 minutes. So I would listen to it for 20 minutes and then go back. Then I'd go home and read the transcript. So I could repeat it even though it was longer, but more importantly, it was interesting. I liked the content. And over time, I definitely saw results in my Portuguese. It got better. That level was a little advanced for me, but through listening to it on repeat and through listening to the same episode all week long, because it was posted weekly, I could listen to each episode 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You need to listen to the content deeply. If it's 20 minutes, listen to it 5, 6 times over the week. If it's 1 minute, listen to it 5, 6 times over the day. Kind of all comes down to this. The more exciting and interesting content is for you, if you like the podcast, the more you're going to listen to it. So stop thinking about how long the episode is. Think about what the person is talking about in the podcast. Is it important to you? Is it inspiring? You don't have to learn English just by listening to English lessons. You can learn English by listening to one of the other millions of options online in English and learn from that. Got it? Great. So thanks, Will, for your question. Again, if you have a question, send them to kevin@feelgoodenglish.com or just go to feelgoodenglish.com and you can easily find a contact form there. Hope you listen to this episode more than once. Put it on repeat. Hope it's inspiring and exciting and educational for you. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.